The haunting figure. The small village of Harrow Hill lay cradled between thick forests and a lazy river, where the sun rarely broke through the fog. It was a quiet place, home to a handful of families and a single, unassuming shop that served as the village's heart. The shop belonged to Lily and Samuel, a hard-working couple who served breakfast and dinner to the village folk, while Jacob, a spry young man from the next town over, helped with orders and cleaning. Life was simple, peaceful even until the figure appeared. Lily took pride in the little shop. Every morning, the scent of fresh bread and brewed coffee filled the air, drawing in the villagers. Samuel was a talented cook, always humming while he prepared meals. Jacob moved with the practiced grace of someone who had spent years serving tables, charming regulars with his easygoing smile. The shop was more than just a place of business. It was a sanctuary where laughter and stories warmed the walls. Jacob was like a younger brother to Lily and Samuel, always there with a joke or a helping hand when things got hectic. On slower days, the three of them would sit outside the shop, watching the river and sharing stories about old legends and village gossip. The shop was more than work. It was a second home. One particularly rainy day, business was slow. The rain fell in heavy sheets, turning the streets to muddy rivers. Inside the shop, Lily wiped down the counter while Samuel prepared a pot of stew. Jacob, ever cheerful, whistled while stacking clean plates. As evening approached and the rain finally stopped, a few regulars trickled in for dinner. That was when Lily saw him, the figure standing beneath the old oak tree near the shop. The stranger was hunched over, drenched, with a dark raincoat clinging to his body and mud caked on his legs. He never moved, never spoke, just stood there as if rooted to the spot. Lily frowned, wondering if he needed help, but decided not to bother him, thinking he might just be passing through. A strange unease twisted in her stomach, but she brushed it off as nerves from the long, gloomy day. That night, sleep came fitfully, and Lily dreamed of the figure. In her dream, his face was hidden beneath the hood, but his voice was a rasping whisper that warned, "Don't speak of me, not to anyone." She awoke with a jolt, her heart pounding. Samuel, half awake beside her, grumbled something about bad dreams before drifting back to sleep. Lily tried to calm herself, but the figure's warning echoed in her mind. The morning brought sunshine and the smell of fresh biscuits, but the tension from the dream lingered. Lily forced herself to focus on the bustling shop as villagers came and went. As the sky blazed red with sunset, the figure returned. Standing in the exact same spot, wearing the same soaked coat, mud still caked on his legs despite the ground now being dry. She nudged Jacob, who was wiping down tables, and gestured to the tree. "There's that man again," she whispered. Jacob looked up, squinting through the gathering dusk. "What man? You feeling all right, Lily?" When she looked back, the figure was gone. Cold fear tightened in her chest, but she forced herself to smile at Jacob and muttered something about being tired. That night, the dream came again, and this time the figure was closer, his breath like ice against her ear. "You will regret it if you speak of me," he hissed. Lily woke drenched in sweat, her pulse racing. Samuel noticed her tension the next morning, concern etched in his eyes. She hesitated but finally told him about the strange figure and the unsettling dreams. Samuel just kissed her forehead, soothing her worries with a gentle laugh. "You've been working too hard," he said. The day passed uneventfully, but when the sun dipped low, the figure returned, this time closer to the shop's door. Lily couldn't take it anymore. She pointed at the window and called out to both Samuel and Jacob, but when they looked, no one was there. They tried to comfort her, brushing it off as fatigue, but Lily knew what she saw. That night, she dreamed again, but now the figure wasn't just threatening. He was dragging Samuel and Jacob through the mud, their faces twisted with terror. She woke to Samuel's scream and found him shaking, sweat pouring from his forehead. He muttered about being dragged in his sleep, just as Lily had seen. The next morning, Jacob didn't come to work. Samuel and Lily checked on him, finding him pale and feverish, muttering about dreams of being pulled into the earth by dark, grasping hands. Lily's fear deepened, and when they shared their experiences, realization dawned. They had all seen the figure. They resolved to confront the apparition that evening. But as night fell and the shop's lights spilled onto the cobblestone street, the figure didn't come. Relieved but wary, they returned home, joined by Lily's father, an old man with a pragmatic mind. Over dinner, Jacob, still shaken, mentioned the figure, and Lily's father grew pale. "That sounds like the Harrow Haunt," he whispered. "It's a spirit that clings to the lonely and vulnerable, feeding on fear. They say it only appears to one person at first, and if you speak of it, it spreads like a sickness. The more it's acknowledged, the stronger it becomes." The revelation sent a chill through them all. Samuel clenched his jaw, trying to push away the fear gnawing at his mind. Lily's father looked at her with weary eyes, sensing the fear clutching his daughter's heart. "Don't let it take you, Lily," he whispered. "Fear feeds it. Stay strong. If I fall, find the shaman from the neighboring village. He knows how to deal with spirits like this." Tears stung Lily's eyes as she nodded, gripping his hand. That night, the family huddled together in the small room, too fearful to sleep alone. Lily tried to rest, but when her eyes finally closed, she felt a presence looming. In the dim candlelight, she saw the figure standing at the foot of her bed. It leaned down, its breath cold and sharp on her face, and claw-like fingers brushed her shoulder. Paralyzed with terror, she couldn't scream, couldn't move, and just as the figure's grip tightened, she awoke gasping, her skin cold and damp with sweat. Morning broke, and Lily rushed to wake her father, only to find him unresponsive. Samuel and Jacob gathered around as Lily shook him, begging him to wake up, but his body was cold and stiff, his shoulder marked with a dark bruise, the same spot where Lily had felt the figure grab her. Grief tore through her, and she wept uncontrollably while Samuel and Jacob prepared the body for the rites. The village gathered to perform the funeral, and afterward, the shop fell into a mournful quiet. Samuel and Jacob convinced themselves that the spirit had claimed its due, that it was finally over. No one spoke of it again, not even to the shaman. For a few days, the house seemed peaceful, and they dared to believe the nightmare had ended. But Lily's guilt festered like an open wound. She couldn't shake the feeling that it was her fault for acknowledging the figure in the first place. Then the dreams started again. Horrific, suffocating visions of the figure dragging her through endless mud, whispering in her ear, telling her she would never escape. It grew worse each night, and Samuel noticed how pale and gaunt Lily was becoming. Her eyes were sunken, and dark shadows clung to her face. Jacob found her one morning, sitting by the window, mumbling about how the figure wouldn't leave her alone. Realizing the spirit hadn't been banished, Samuel and Jacob finally decided to seek the shaman. They left at first light, promising Lily they'd return with help. But when they came back, the house was empty, the shop dark. In the thick fog outside, they spotted a hunched figure standing beneath the old oak tree. As they approached, they found 3 sets of muddy footprints leading from the house to the tree, and nothing more. Samuel swore he saw Lily's face in the shadow before the figure faded away, and he knew they would never truly be rid of the Harrow Haunt.